11 Overdrive.
With the flat earth thing, that's something that you truly believe.
My theory is, I bought a bus a couple summers ago. So when I drive from Florida to California, it seems flat to me.
Some people thought you were joking. You're not joking though, right?
No, I mean it was just like a point.
A eureka moment. I mean, I literally went and woke my wife up and told her that the earth was flat.
Flat.
The earth is flat.
My reality, my senses tell me that the earth is flat and stationary.
This is my world.
This is it. For me, it's just giving everyone a chance to do their own research and find their own knowledge rather than...
I'm your host, 11 Overdrive. Join me for these intriguing stories and more. Perhaps you will be the one chosen by fate to get woke. It is commonly accepted that the earth is flat. Ancient cultures from all over the world came to this conclusion thousands of years ago. From the ancient Egyptians to the Germanic Northmen, the earth was considered to be a disk surrounded by ocean and covered by a firmament. Pythagoras in the 6th century BC and Parmenides, almost 1,000 years later, attempted to argue that the earth was in fact round. Today, the flat earth theory is on the defensive. Countless backyard scientists have set out to prove the earth is flat. Arguments are made constantly. For example, if the earth was round, like a wet tennis ball, the water would fly off as it spun. A man set out to build his own rocket in order to put himself high enough to see the curvature of the earth. What people perhaps don't realize is that the earth is neither flat nor round. The unbelievable truth is that the earth may in fact be a tesseract. The question that is often asked is how one could possibly walk in one direction and end up right where he or she started unless the earth was round. From observable evidence, we see that the earth is flat. These two conflicting pieces of evidence make the question nearly impossible to answer given the provided parameters. To that end, we need to start looking outside the box. We need to start looking at the tesseract. A tesseract is a four-dimensional cube that folds in on itself infinitely. Like the tesseract, time and space fold in on itself. This means that as we move in one direction, the tesseract folds time and space so that you will eventually wind up exactly where you started. As the police often do when attempting to railroad a suspect into pleading guilty, we must first disregard all evidence to the contrary. This leaves only the supporting evidence. With the supporting evidence vastly outweighing the non-existent counter-evidence, we can logically conclude that the most complicated answer is the correct one. After all, when you eliminate the impossible, then whatever is left, no matter how improbable, must be the truth. This sounded smart to me, and I don't know how to verify these theories on my own regardless. One of the earliest proponents of the Tesseract Earth Theory were Albert Einstein and his student, Hermann Minkowski. If you contradict me, you're a goddamn liar. Minkowski's geometric interpretation of relativity proved to be vital for Einstein's general theory of relativity. This formed the basis of the Tesseract Earth Theory, as it showed how mass and energy curve flat space and time into a pseudo-Riemannian manifold. In essence, it added a fourth dimension that transcended the XYZ coordinates of the Euclidean space and added a W coordinate. Heisenberg, in an attempt to verify the Tesseract Earth Theory, managed to trap an office worker in the same monotonous time loop for 20 years. The worker failed to notice, which led to the realization that most people may not even be aware when they cross dimensional space. While we perceive relative movement in 3 dimensions, there is the fourth unseen dimension that moves us along time and space, so that a straight line inevitably leads us in an endless march back to where we started. J. Robert Oppenheimer assisted in the theorizing of Tesseract Earth Theory with his work on quantum tunneling, in which a particle passes through a potential barrier, thus proving that it is possible for travel to exist through the fourth dimension. Oppenheimer is perhaps best known for his quote, "I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." Sadly, despite becoming destroyer of worlds, he was still unable to see why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. He tragically died after choking on a 4D Dorito that had shifted into the third dimension. Like the round Earth and flat Earth theories, Tesseract Earth has received significant opposition, notably by the Church of Scientology that irrationally insists that the Earth is round. But these doubters are what we term suppressive persons, or doubting Thomases. Additionally, Tesseract Earth Theory was criticized by NASA, which has been implicated in several other conspiracies, notably their staging of the moon landings in a sound studio leased from the Nazis at their secret lunar base. That, however, is a topic that will be covered at a later date. However, the Nazis did have their own early opposition to what they termed Jewish physics. In stark contrast to Einstein's Tesseract Earth Theory, the Germans created a counterpoint they termed Deutsche Physik. This was widely regarded as a bad move. The German denial of physics stagnated their ability to develop fission, and even worse, caused their blitzkrieg to go backwards. This resulted in being overrun by the Soviets. Einstein and Minkowski may have formed the basis for the Tesseract Earth Theory, but contemporaries to Pythagoras and Parmenides were more than aware of the concept of space and time. In fact, Parmenides himself wrote essays and may have been an early progenitor of the theory. The Vedas of the 2nd millennium BC had a concept of the Tesseract Earth Theory in which the universe enters into repeated cycles of creation, destruction, and rebirth. Additionally, the Incas had philosophized that space and time was a single concept known as Pacha. Such strong evidence in the face of opposition has existed since the dawn of human civilization. We've always known that the Earth was a tesseract, and given that space and time continue to fold in on itself, it's hard to pinpoint exactly when we figured it out, since we've learned it for the first time countless times before. It's clear that if the Earth were flat, walking in a straight line would carry us over the edge. If the Earth was round, we would see the curvature. My last argument doesn't come from Jewish physics, but rather made-up Jewish philosophy. That is, if a decision is unanimous, the 10th man must treat the verdict as absolute fact to the contrary. While most people are fighting about whether the Earth is round or flat, we must ultimately conclude that it is neither. What we're left with is conclusive evidence that Earth is a time cube. It's just a big time cube that sends us back to the beginning no matter where we start. When you consider it, it's pretty annoying. We could be some big, meaningless rock floating through the endless nothing. We could also be a flat, stationary disk that at least has some meaning, because we're all there is. But instead, we get to be a big, meaningless time cube in a reality where time and space may or may not be an illusion. And so it is, flat and round Earth Theory, eternally beat out once again by Tesseract Earth Theory, only for the cycle to repeat. Next episode, we discuss how AIDS was invented by the gays in order to discredit the CIA. Follow me so you can listen to all the smart things I say. If you still believe in flat Earth after this, you're probably brainwashed. Join us next time on 11 Overdrive. If you have any information on this conspiracy or any other conspiracies, leave a comment down below. Here's an unpopular opinion. There's no such thing as trans-dimensional beings. Just pick one. You're either born in the 6th or 7th dimension, and your quantum makeup reflects that. You can't just change dimensions whenever you want. Trans-dimensionism is a physical disorder.